Hello, this is the homework access for the database class, represented by Wayne. First, we need to build the application environment, Eclipse, and MySQL database, and the Tomcat Apache server, which you can download and install in the configuration path. Okay, let's see the demo first. Now we run this student list JSP page on the Tomcat server. Well, you can see the default page here because we do not set any action, so it's empty. But we can click Add Student to show the student in the database. We can see two results here. Then we can add a new student. We junior. Then we click Save. We can see a new result here. Then you can click Edit to update the information. Will succeed. Let's see right here. Also, we can delete this student, and it disappeared. So this is the basic functions for this application. Now we can see how I achieved this. First, we need to create a project, which is dynamic web project, and we convert it to a Marvel project, which I have already did. First, we need to configure the poem.xml file, which we need to add the external JAR files. We need JSTL 1.2 and MySQL connected Java A013 here. Then we need to build a student class first. Well, you need a package called Java student DB here. This is a model class represents a student and entity. We set ID, name, address, and status corresponding to the MySQL database. We can see here table, column, ID, name, address, and status. We need to write the initialization function for this class with or without parameters, name, ID, name, address, and status. We can also write get and set functions for each variables. Get it to return the ID and set it to set this ID with the parameters. Same for the name, address, and status. Then we go to next level, which is student DAO, the Java. This is a data access layer class, which provides create, read, update, and delete function operations for the table student in the database. We need to set the JDBC URL, username, password. These are the fixed strings which will be set in the web XML. I will talk it later. We can use this parameter to establish a connection to the given database and disconnect it in the same way. Then we can write the insert functions. For example, insert here. We need to write the SQL sentence insert into students, attributions and values. We use question mark here, so we need to write a prepared statement to do this. We write the index and the corresponding values, which can be found in the student class. Then we execute it. If it returns greater than 0, then which means this is succeed, otherwise it's failed. So same as the list of student, we select from student and exact to 8, but this is kind of different here because it will return a multiply result in the result set, and we use a while function to get each rows and put it to a student object, and finally add to the array list, which is list student, and we return it. Delete, update, and get a particular student according to its ID. Then we go to next is controller servlet Java. So this servlet acts a page controller for the application, handling all requests from the users. So this is like a connection between the student DAO and the front page. We can handle both get and post requests here. For the actions that we get from the front page, we can see new, insert, delete, edit, and update, and it will implement the corresponding functions. For example, the show edit form is to show the existing student according to the request ID. We can get the ID from the request get parameter ID and get the existing student. Then we can deliver the student to the front end page, like to forward the departure.forward to it finally. Also list student is same. You can list student DAO.list all the student. You can set attributions. This is name that will be used in the front end page. So same for update, delete, and insert. So the back end is finally done. Then we go to the front end. It's student list JSP file. This is a design for the front page, which is the style of this. So the key point is to the link half to the new list. This is the function we write in the controller. And this student and this list student we get from the controller. Then we can give these ID names, these values to the table. And for the edit and delete, we need to delete a query string, which we need to write which is this ID, which is this student, to the edit and the delete. This is the form, student form JSP file. Here we use C test, which I know actually I don't really understand. It is like an interface. We can use it to test which this student is empty or not. If it's not empty, then this is an update form. Otherwise, it's an insert form. I understand that we do not to repeat it, that we can use only one page to do these two functions. If it's not empty, then it's added student. Then we can show the student in 4 here, and we can submit. If it's empty, then it's add new student. Then the blank is empty first, and we type in the information and we save it. Last, we need to configure the web XML. So this is basically we write the JDBC URL and username and password here. I think this is very integrated and standard application. That we do not to edit this information in the back end. We can just like modify the URL we can use in different database. So this is all the information in this application, and we can see the diagram here. So in this application, the layer 3 is a database that we use test and table student here, and layer 2 is the student DAO Java that we connect with the database directly. And the controller, it will communicate the front end page and the back end DAO class, and this is connect to the student class. Maybe you can connect other more classes here. And the layer one is a little bit different. I think this other layer one in this application, the student JSP file and student form JSP file. This is the user to operate the operations to communicate with the layer 2 and the layer 2 connect with the layer 3. So this is a whole process in this communication. That's all. Thank you.